joining us. I'm Sophia with Garden State Film Festival, and I am here with the people behind the making of the music video Pretend. We have Doug Bollinger, who directed the music video, and Brian Wood, who is the musician. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course. Congratulations on making this awesome music video and getting accepted into Garden State Film Festival. How you guys feel?
We're excited. The Garden State Film Festival is amazing. Brian, actually, the feature that I had in here last year, Rock, Paper, Scissors, Brian did a lot of the music for it. So we've been involved.
Oh, so you guys have worked together before?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Well, we'll get into all of that. I definitely have questions for you. But first, let's tell everybody a little bit about the video Pretend. Whoever wants to take that away.
Sure. So Pretend is it's one of Brian's amazing songs, and Brian approached me about doing a music video and had a storyline, and we got together a pretty cool crew of locals and some local actors. One of which is in another short in the festival. Her name is Sarah Osman, and we shot it a few years ago, and we decided we haven't entered it into any festivals. We wanted to premiere it at a local festival, and Garden State Film Festival was the one, and luckily we got in. But we had a blast making it. We're not just collaborators; we're friends, and it was cool. And Brian's song is amazing.
It is indeed. Oh man, how amazing that you guys waited and thought Garden State Film Festival is the first festival that will premiere this music video. I'm honored. Not that I have anything to do with the making of the festival, but just working for them. I love Garden State Film Festival. So it's so awesome that you guys wanted to premiere here. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
So how do you guys know each other? How did this collaboration first begin? I'd love to hear about that.
He was just kind of the go-to guy for sure. I mean, like through schooling and different between musicals and all sort of creative endeavors, we like just knew of and we just had this idea for the song and worked before and how he brings stuff to life. So we brought the idea to him, and he had the time, resource, got on board with the vision, and we both just ran with it, and it was a lot of fun.
And Brian, when did you first write the song, and what was your inspiration for writing Pretend?
That song came probably a year, 2 years came to speak, because it was a different song. It was different lyrics, different melody, and some sort of like change in like good group, like my old band. It's just a song about loss and the kind of the inevitability of something, and then all of a sudden it, like, the day you were dreading, it's the end, and you're actually standing on the line of it. And it was kind of, the video starts like a little bit before then, of like the foreshadowing of, and then finally, like, it comes to a hedge, and it's the end. And it wasn't, because you've been doing it for so long, months beforehand or whatever it is.
Wow. And Doug, when you were first approached by Brian to direct this music video and with the story, what attracted you to telling the story?
So the lyrics are just so interesting, and Brian's humble about it, but it really tells a beautiful story. And it's this couple that kind of knows the end is coming, and they're kind of pretending that maybe it's not the end, but ultimately it is. And to tell that story visually, and not just be a concert video, and those are fine too, but to actually do a short film where there's a narrative, that was really interesting to me. And they're the ones that kind of came to me with the concept of the video, and I loved it. And they had an amazing location to do most of it. So getting to work with people that you like, that are also talented, is like, that's a no-brainer for me.
Mm. And you talk about the location, which was so gorgeous, and I really appreciated those wonderful, artistically shot, shots that we see in the film. So I'd love to hear about your cinematographer and how you guys came up with the look and feel of the music video.
So yeah, luckily, I knew a cinematographer that I'd worked with on other things. Again, we tend to kind of work with people that we like and that we know that are good. And this guy Eric Hackler, who is a great DP, and he's also our editor. I got him involved pretty early on, and we went to this amazing location that Brian hooked up. And between those two things, the look of it, I mean, I think we're both really happy with it.
And Brian, I mean, what about this location where you like, this is where the story needs to be told?
It's just us, and my dad and him are always working on stuff together, and I'm there for. I, I I don't want to say it like sparked the idea of the video, but definitely kind of written by that location, even down to just like the like the the hard working man sort of like characters. Um, just that sort of whole, like everything's here, like even just a pile of move around, and it was just all so simple. We were able to do a lot in one day because the set, it was like a live set like that. That's an active, like we had to stop filming so the lady who could like work, tend the horse and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It was like we kind of just dipped in for a day, took what we needed to take, and filming wise, and kind of a little bit off the cuff of like oh, look at that's interesting, let's like there, and then stack it back.
So it sounds like you both are just such like amazing visual artists. Brian, being a musician and you saw this story in your head, have you made music videos before? Are you interested in the film aspect, the film world?
Yeah, I mean, there's between like content creation and all that sort of thing. It's like film work is taken in one way or another. But as far as like meshing the two of visual stuff, I mean, working with Doug in the past, where like other, like you said, rock paper scissors, that kind of opened my mind of like, here is like a mute movie. It not everybody really notices the amount that can take you, even just like somebody's foot walking by, like could mean, and it's up to like that's what we were doing, just like dark tones and happy chord, and kind of filtering through, like while he's standing right next to me, being like, all right, so this is the part we're still pretending they're good, but we want the audience to think that something at this point, when whatever they pick up the mask, or there's a mask in the back, the key thing is like that we'll add a note there, and like tempoing it with the movie and the editing person who that up, like timing the beats and stuff like that. That was really cool.
And Doug, I want to talk to you about your background as well. You talk about how you had a feature film, Rock, Paper, Scissors, last year. Both of you were a part of that. And now you're directing this music video. Is it very different directing a feature film or shorts as compared to directing this music video?
Yeah, one of the biggest differences is that you're not recording sound. Most of the music videos don't have dialogue. Some do, here, there, ours didn't, but that takes an element out of it that you're not then worried about. So, for example, we're shooting in the barn at a farm. They're, like Brian said, it's a working farm. So if the truck is driving by, we don't see it, we hear it, but we don't worry that we hear it. So we don't have to stop and wait for the truck. When we're shooting a feature film, especially outside or in a location like that, it is okay. Hold on, there's a plane. Hold on, there's somebody walking. So that's an element that actually, to me, makes it a little easier to shoot and focus just on the visuals of a music video. So we're both big fans of sound. Brian's also an audio engineer. Like we're big fans, but when you can extract that element from the possible things that go wrong, it does make it a little bit easier. But visually, it's the same approach. It's looking at telling the story. It's basically saying to yourself, everything that we see should help the story move along. And that was our approach. That was our approach with the feature film and any other shorts and things that I've worked on. And that was our approach with the music video. The story dictates everything.
Okay, amazing. And you talked about the local actors that you guys found, and we see them doing amazing work in this music video. Tell me about the wonderful leads that you have in this video.
Well, the male lead is Witz, and he's just like one of those. This was his first and most recent acting in Denver. I mean, I think he did a couple things beforehand, but he was, and he's just like a personable guy, and was just like, you know, who could we find? He's an artistic person too, just with drawing and all sorts of things, and you know, we just kind of like threw him in, and I think he did great. I mean, Doug has worked with experienced novice people, and he seemed very malleable. Like he took it direction well. Sarah was just like the obvious like person you could just fall in love with the first few scenes. You know what I mean? With the, you know, the dancing and other stuff like that, and is just a working model and actress and everything, and she was choice, you know.
Yeah, it was really neat to work with two people with two very different experiences. And we also knew both of them, so we knew it was going to be comfortable. But Vinny came at it with not a lot of experience on camera, and Sarah had a bunch and continues to do that. And yeah, we found out too that Sarah is in a short called Dinner Talk, I believe. We were hoping it wasn't at the same time. Luckily, it's not. So right after our screening, she's going to go walk to another venue and see another thing that she's in. She's an amazing actor and a local. And like, I feel like one of our jobs at the festivals, like to show everybody her and her work, because everybody needs to hire her. She's amazing.
Oh, amazing. I love the shout out, guys. I love it. You guys are hyping everybody up. And you talked about how you kind of, you know, you don't have to worry about sound when it comes to music videos, but it also, I imagine, is a level of difficulty because you have to tell this story without sound. So the acting is so important, the emotions, the emoting is so important, and the song obviously gives to that. But what is it like directing these two actors and this story without using sound? Was there rehearsals involved? Was there a lot of background talk about what they were doing, you know, that we don't hear? What was that like?
Great question. I having worked with Eric too, the cinematographer, and having done a lot of prep with Brian and saying, hey, what is it that you really kind of envision for the story and visually too? So having those two things in mind and knowing that Eric was also going to edit it, we had a pretty good plan going in. And then we also had these two actors that were kind of open to direction and were willing to just kind of try stuff on the fly in addition to what we rehearsed. So it really was just a really fun, lovely combination of a lot of preparation, which I think is probably the first mistake that people that don't have experience make, is they don't prepare enough. So we had the preparation, but then we had the flexibility on the fly to say, oh, wait a minute, look at this stack of hay. We're going to do something over here. Let's go and try this. And they were, so it really was the combination of preparation and flexibility from everybody that I think made it something we're proud of.
Absolutely.
They were both so easygoing and just like willing to all kind of thinking it, and maybe even saying on the side, we're like a kiss would really, like a short, you know, we're like, but they're strangers, you know, whatever. And they said themselves, they're like, and we're like, yeah, that's a good idea. And they were like, you know, they talked amongst themselves, like, yeah, that's right, all right, go again, and like this time, kiss. And they were so like, and it looked natural and in it, you know, and it was just really cool that everybody was kind of like, we even had just one, his name's Dino, and he was just wanted to hang out, and he was around, and he was like our runner. So it was just wanted to be a part of it. Even like my neighbor who was there was like, saw him in the corner, just cool. I was like, yeah, this is, you know, and that's like a world that those people that were there normally. Just they don't see that sort of like camera equipment and it and what it how the work of it is brought out.
Sounds like such an awesome collaborative, creative environment that you guys had while shooting Pretend. So that is so amazing. And last question for you guys. How did you hear about Garden State Film Festival? Doug, I know you've been there before. So just quickly tell us why you guys submitted to Garden State Film Festival and how's it feel to have it screen here?
Sure. I mean, I can answer. Just growing up here and being in Monmouth County for the big chunk of my life, I've just been a fan of the Garden State Film Festival. I actually have the program from the second ever festival, and I've been declined a few times with other films that, frankly, just all right, they weren't good enough to get in. And then finally, last year, Rock Paper Scissors, our feature that Brian worked on me with, got in, and it was such an amazing experience. And Brian came, and we had people that worked on the film there, and it's this community that is built here, and I'm so glad you guys are back in Asbury Park. It's an amazing weekend. Anybody that watches this, come to the festival, not just to see ours and our block of short films, which by the way is incredible, not just our film, but the whole weekend's going to be amazing.
Well, I love it. Doug, thank you so much for continuing to support Garden State Film Festival and submit your work. Brian, you as well. You are a very talented musician and storyteller. I'm really excited for audiences to see Pretend. Let me tell everyone how they can watch this music video. It will be screening Saturday, March 25th at the Jersey Shore Arts Center in the Palia Theater on the film block 12:15 to 2 p.m. Like Doug said, there'll be some great other short films there, so definitely check it out and meet Doug and Brian and maybe the rest of the cast. Thank you guys so much for joining us and talking about Pretend. Congratulations. I'll see you at the festival.
Thank you.
All right.